if I told you that people that live in LA are not crazy, that you can make it in LA without having to sleep with anyone, do anything crazy, worship a devil, that you can actually live a very beautiful, fruitful, amazing life in Los Angeles, California, and Hollywood, California. Would you believe me? Would you believe me? Let me know down in the comments. Okay, so I have lived, you're gonna wanna listen up. If you are somebody that has been wanting to move to Los Angeles, California, has been wanting to make it in Hollywood, has been wondering about the lifestyle in Hollywood, you have literally clicked on the right video, because I'm about to spill the tea. I've lived in LA for pretty much all of my adult life, and I have been in several different scenes. I have been in several different communities. I have been in several different avenues. I've been in several different areas, okay, in Los Angeles, California. And what I want to tell you is that, and it's funny because I see so many people like bashing people in Hollywood, like they're a bunch of weirdos, they're a bunch of drug addicts, they're a bunch of psychos, everybody's super fake. And what I want to tell you is that, and I'm literally going to bring this up and show you on Google right now, because this is not something that I'm just making up, okay? This is actual fact, okay? So we're going to type in right now, and you're going to want to know why. You're going to want to stay to the end of this, because the tea I'm about to spill is so potent and so robust with such juice that you may want to move to LA like literally today, okay? And you'll see why I say that at the end of the video. And this is not a video to stick up for people that live in LA or live in Hollywood, or, you know, you can think people in LA or Hollywood are crazy or weird or fake. That's fine. But what I want to tell you is that if you're somebody that's always been wondering and you're like, I just want to know the tea, like I just want to know the behind the scenes, the juice, I want to know what it's really like by somebody that is basically from there, but has been in every single scene you can think of. And there's still scenes, because this is what I wanted to show you. How many people are in Los Angeles? Okay. And I believe the last time I checked, it was 10 million. 10 million people. Oh, okay. So I rounded up. It is literally 9.83. So we'll round up to 10 million people. So you mean to tell me that there's 10 million people that are weird, fake, worship the devil, do sex magic, they're crazy, they're psycho, and like it just doesn't make any sense. Like a city wouldn't be able to even survive. Oh yeah, that was in 2021. So now in 2020, headed to 2024 is probably really at 10 million. So what I wanted to let you know is that the people that are giving Los Angeles and Hollywood a really bad name are the people, it's maybe like, let's just call it 50,000 of the people of this 10 million, okay? So I'm gonna tell you the tea. If you wanna move to LA, if you wanna try to make it in Los Angeles as an actress, model, whatever, I've literally seen people move here and literally are now an A-lister. I've literally seen people move to LA and became a stripper. I've seen people move to LA and get into a basic job and have a 9-to-5. I've seen people move to LA, get into drugs, and have to move back home with their parents. I've seen it all, okay? Well, I still have a lot of life to live, Lord willing, but there is a lot that I've seen. And so I want to give you the behind the scenes, because the reason why I think I have a competitive advantage in this, and why I think it's such a cool, it's going to be worth your time, is that I know stuff because I'm not trying to like make it in Hollywood. So like I get access, and because I don't have like that desperate vibe of like, I want to make it as an actress or a model, or I don't know, a singer, songwriter. I don't have like, that's not my passion in life. And so I just have this very like observant perspective of like what I've seen when people do try to come here and make it. I was born in Los Angeles, California. I was here during my childhood, was raised for another part of my childhood in Sacramento, and then moved back down here after college. After going to Fresno State, I moved back down to LA. So my entire adult life has basically been in Los Angeles, California. So I worked in a normal job. I had a normal 9-to-5 job, and I was never trying to make it as an actress or model, but a lot of my friends were, a lot of my neighbors, a lot of people that worked for me were like people that were just working part-time to then go to try to make it, right? So I got to like see all these different perspectives. And what I will say is that you can move to Los Angeles, California and live a very, very normal life. If you're looking to have a family, if you're looking to have a corporate ladder type of job where you just want like a good job, pays you decent, and you just want to meet a nice girl, meet a nice guy, come together and have a nice family and just move up in your career and do things on the weekends, like you can really live that life. The 10 million people that I just showed you, literally 10 million people, if you're just now joining, 10 million people that live in Los Angeles County as a whole collective, right? So this, I'm going to give you the tea. Okay, so if you want to move to Los Angeles, California and not deal with weirdos and not deal with how expensive it is, I'm going to give you, so there's a couple different things that we can start out. There's so many different things. Oh my God, I've lived here for so long, so there's so many different areas I want to start out. So if you want to move here and make it in LA, a really good place to start living. And I'm going to give you a couple different examples of, like, even if you just want to live a normal life, like, and just have a regular job, I'm going to explain that in a second too. So if you want to move to Los Angeles, a really good place to move if you're trying to make it in the industry is North Hollywood, Studio City. You're going to want to write this down, Studio City. You can live in like Van Nuys, Northridge. It's kind of far in the valley, but it's going to be cheaper. You can live in, now if you have the funds, if you have the money, you're going to want to live like in West Hollywood. You're going to want to live in downtown. You're going to want to live in like safer areas in actual Hollywood. If you have like money, then you can live in Beverly Hills. Like there's really nice starter apartments in Beverly Hills. The reason why I'm saying those places is that, okay, so for the cheaper end, like if you're like, hey, I'm just, you know, I have enough money to where I could live in a nice apartment with a roommate, you can find decent apartments in North Hollywood, California, in Studio City, California, in Sherman Oaks, California, and it starts to get a little bit further away from Hollywood, California, as you continue to go west down the 101. But that's where you're going to want to be at. And the reason why I say those places, if you're a beginner in LA and you, oh, and this is another one that a lot of people don't think about. And I know, because I lived in North Hollywood. I lived in Eagle Rock. I know that's a weird, like, people never hear about Eagle Rock, but Eagle Rock is right next to Burbank. Burbank is on the other side. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's close to Hollywood, but from a different direction. So North Hollywood is close to Hollywood, but so is Burbank. Burbank is also close to Hollywood, but coming from the east. So Burbank is in the east, and it goes into Hollywood this way, and then North Hollywood is north of Hollywood, and then it goes, you know, as you go south, it goes into normal Hollywood. So Burbank, Eagle Rock, Silver Lake, North Hollywood, Studio City, Sherman Oaks, all those little cities that I just said, you're going to want to Google those, and you're going to want to do research and make sure you know, obviously move into like a safe apartment, find a really good safe roommate. And the reason why those areas are so good is that there's other people trying to make it too. And so you end up going to the same grocery stores as these people. You end up going to the same little bars and lounges. You end up going to the same gym, which is a really good one. You can really meet a lot of people to connect with in LA when you're first moving to LA. Now, this is where it gets weird because people are trying to make it. If you're from like a small city, a small town in somewhere in the United States, let's just say you're from a small town in the Midwest, more than likely when you come to LA, you can get bamboozled, and you can get used, and you can get convinced and like coerced, and because you're coming from a small city. So when you're in the jungle, right? And everyone else is trying to make it, there's one of two, there's a blessing and a curse to it. So you can meet people that are like, let's partner together, let's try to make it together, or you can end up meeting people that are gonna step on you to like climb over you, right? Like they might try to take your contacts. You might have a particular talent that they don't have, so then you're getting access to certain things, and they're like, oh, let me go with you next time you go to that studio, or next time you go to that audition, or next time you go to that, and then they try to stick themselves onto you. So you're gonna have to really tap in to number one, always having something that keeps you like grounded, like your cousins, your family back home. Maybe if you're moving from back home, like with a friend to LA, that's also really good too. I've also seen friendships go to demise, like literally end doing that, but that's a whole nother story. So I'll explain that in another one. I'm probably going to do a lot of a series on this because there's a lot of times I meet young girls in LA that move here, and I find myself giving them all this advice, and I'm like, why don't I just talk about this on YouTube? From someone again that was born out here. My mom has a ton of family that's from the whole like Compton, South Central, Carson area. I wasn't raised in the area. I was raised in the valley, so that's more of like the area that I talked to you about with like Northridge is the valley, Woodland Hills is the valley, Encino, Tarzana, Sherman Oaks, like that's the valley, and then you go over the hill, and then that's when you get into West Hollywood, Hollywood. You go even further down, and you're hitting Beverly Hills, you're hitting Culver City. You go another direction, you're hitting downtown. So, but as a starter place to live, and you have low funds, you're going to want to, again, I'm going to recap. You're going to want to move to North Hollywood, Studio City. Studio City is starting to get kind of expensive, but Studio City, Eagle Rock, a safe spot in Eagle Rock. I lived in Eagle Rock. That's like a little hidden gem. You can find decent apartments out there. It was 7 minutes. I remember me and my old roommate, we used to literally get to Hollywood in 7 minutes. Like we would time it how quick we could get there. And the quickest I think we ever got there was 7 minutes, literally. So Eagle Rock is a really good hidden gem spot, and then Burbank. So again, if you're somebody that's trying to make it, you're going to want to, when you move here, you're going to want to make sure that you have a really solid foundation of people that you trust, that you at least have a village back home, and you attach yourself to one or two people here, and you really watch how they are, right? Watch how they talk about other people. Watch how they move. Watch how they, are they swindling anybody else, right? Watch how they're moving, because you can get bamboozled. Now, what I think is also really good is this has happened a lot. So because a chunk of my childhood was also, I was raised in Sacramento. People that are from Sacramento that I've linked up with out here, like we kind of have like that like Sacramento vibe. So we've linked up out here. So if you can like find, other people from the Midwest or other people from the South or other people, make sure you link up with those people when you're here. And also, this is another big one. So if you're going to be moving to LA and you're new, you got to make sure that you stay organized with your contacts and your networks. So don't go out and just get in the party scene and just like drink your life away and go out 5, 6, 7 nights a week. Okay. Go out with a purpose. Like go out and say, okay, I'm going to get 5 networks, and I'm going to make sure to put them in a certain section in my phone, whether it's like a certain list or email list or whatever, where it's like, let's just say, for example, if you're trying to be a songwriter. Okay. So when you're out, like, and you meet these people or you meet anyone, just make sure you keep them in a spot. I met them at this club at this time. This is what they do. And that's the one thing, like if I could go back in time, the amount of people that I met that are on the big screen now, literally people that I met 10 years ago that are in Blockbuster, not Blockbuster, is Blockbuster even around anymore? But that are in like Marvel, Paramount Picture, like top A-lister type of people. I knew them when they were sleeping on couches. Like I've met them before, hung out with them before, like been into the same circle as them before. And if I would have kept in contact, like that could be, and you never know, my life is so interesting how it works. I'll probably end up running into those people anyway. But just to say, like when you're meeting people, make sure it's like you come up, you keep your list of contacts and you like tap in with them, because you really do never know like how you guys can partner together in the future, how you guys can be of service to each other, how you guys can be of value to each other. And then because of maybe certain access that they have that you don't have, right? Or maybe you both have access to something and then you can come together on something. Like I would just say, make sure when you move out to LA and you're trying to make it, that you don't just, it's very easy to get sucked into the party scene because everybody's good looking, everybody's there for a good time, everybody's, doesn't really care to work a 9-to-5 job. Not everybody. Like I said, there's 10 million people. We just looked it up. 10 million people that live in Los Angeles County as a collective. 90% of those people have 9 to 5 jobs. Like that's another thing I want to say is it is a misconception that nobody works. Like how would 10 million people live in this region of the planet and nobody had a job? Like that doesn't make any sense. So 90% of people are actually having full-time normal jobs, and it's the 10% that are trying to make it, right? So again, that 10%, if you are in that world or you're going on these auditions and it's like, oh, let's go, we're all gonna like go out to like this club after, you should come with us. Don't overdrink. Don't collect, get drinks from other, tables, because shots are just going around. There's definitely weirdos and crazies and creepers and predators that definitely do spike drinks and things like that. Go out with a purpose. Go out, hang out for maybe an hour or two, leave. Like you don't need to just like sit there on a couch and just like party all night, right? Have I done those things? Absolutely. But I think for me, I had a full-time job and I was still getting promoted during that job. So I was able to have like a work, like a social life and like a career life. Like I was somehow blessed with the ability, I don't know how, maybe because my mom and dad were so strict. I just had like that shield of like responsibility and discipline. I have seen people throw their life down the tube from partying too much. And again, I'm not saying don't party. Like if you're 21, 22, experience life, go out, but make sure you're going out with a purpose. Don't have it always be you're going out 5 nights a week, because this is what people would do to you. And I want to make sure I'm about to drop the juice. I'm about to drop the juice because this is what people will do. You're new to LA. Let's say you live in North Hollywood. You're new to LA. You go to the gym. Maybe there's a club promoter there. They're like, oh, you're cute. Da, da, da. Oh, where are you from? Oh, you should come out. Da, da, da. So you go out, right? Maybe you've never been to a club before. Maybe you've never been to like a Hollywood style type of club, right? Where there's like bottle service and bottle popping and whatever. So you go. You have a great time. Boom. That's all good. That's fine. You had a couple drinks. It's fine. Everyone's safe. Everyone made it home safe. It was a blast, right? Then what happens is it's like, oh, well, I had a good time. Like, let me go out again, and then again, and then again. This is where it starts to turn. This is where it starts to turn. So what happens is the promoter is getting paid off of you going. The promoter is getting paid off of you showing up and sitting at that section. Okay? So what ends up happening is you end up working for free and you don't even know it. For free. Your beautiful energy, the money that you spent on makeup, the money that you spent on doing your hair, the money that you spent on a cute outfit, the time, the energy, the effort, if you have to be up the next morning losing sleep, and you did all that, you actually paid them to get paid, because you show up, you're fun, you're cute, you're outgoing, you're like, yeah, I'm trying to make it, da da da. Oh, they're like, yeah, I'll connect you with this person, I'll network with you, have a drink, and you're like, okay, whatever, yeah. And then, oh yeah, come out next week. Okay, yeah, well, I'm still trying to make it, yeah, I'm gonna connect you. You're gonna want to come tonight. There's gonna be people there that you're gonna want to connect with. Boom. And you're like, okay. All of a sudden, 6 months goes by. You've made no connections because you're now so caught up in the scene and having fun that you did no networking. And even if you did get a couple networking numbers, you didn't save it. You don't remember what their name was. You didn't save the number. Or maybe you were too hammered, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, I see it so many times. I literally see girls move to LA and just immediately lose 2 years of their life because of this. Just immediately lose 2 years of their life. Now, not all girls. Some girls are very smart, and I feel like they're getting coached by other people, or maybe they grew up in LA and like they have other mentors and things like that. So that's why I was like, let me just start talking to women, and this goes for guys too. Guys get used all the time, like, especially like if you're like a guy that's like has some money, or you came from money, or maybe you're an athlete, or maybe you are an actor and you're a young 21, 22-year-old actor. These promoters have you come out, they treat you like royalty. And then all of a sudden, and you're not getting paid, right? They're getting paid because you showed up to the club by the club owner, or they're getting a percentage off of the drink sales from the bar that whole night because of all the people that they brought in. So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't not do it, but just go out with the purpose. Like, okay, I'm going to go out. I know this club promoter is going to da 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 da. But what some women ended up getting smart and saying, well, if I'm going to go out, number one, I want to go out because this club is hard to get into. So I have this connection now. So I know I can get in. But what I'm going to do is if I meet other girls and I invite them too, you're going to give me a percentage. So just be smart, right? Like figure out how you can get to the bag or make side income by just being in the social scene, the nightlife scene, the Hollywood scene, okay? So that's that because I just know I'm not going to sit here and say don't get into the nightlife scene, don't start to go out, don't. It's just not realistic. 90% of you that are listening to this, especially if you're 25 and younger, more than likely you will get into the party scene. So I'm just saying do it strategically and smart. If you are trying to be an actor, if you're trying to be a model, it is going to be, you are going to get invited out to eat very late at night. Okay, I've literally seen, this is crazy that I'm like saying this now, but there's just so much I've seen in my years of being an adult and living out my adult years in Los Angeles, California. And I've literally seen women lose careers because they were partying too much and eating Barry's pizza at 4 o'clock in the morning because they're beautiful, gorgeous girls with great personalities. And then they're going out. And then they gain 15, 20 pounds. And then now they're not getting booked for their modeling gigs. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, if you come out here and be about your bag, be about your career, be about your passion, be about like what this vision is for your life. I've seen, and that's why there's only maybe like less than 1% that of all the hundreds of thousands of young 25 and under people that move to LA, there's only less than 1% that actually move on to the big screen or move on to own this, like to build this empire or move on because they just get sucked into like all of the glitz and the glam and all the access, especially when you're that age, when you're 25 and under, you're impressionable, you're new, you're youthful, you're fresh, and then you're just like energetic, right? Like you have energy to like show up to all these things, and then there's other people that are benefiting from you and you don't even know it. So make sure you have your business cards together. Make sure those business cards are ready to go, that you never leave the house without your business cards. Like there was a girl, I went to the HAPA Awards. And there was this girl. Oh, and I'll answer that in a second, what my passion is. I went to the HAPA Awards and this girl handed me her card and beautiful girl. And it was just, she just handed me a card and I was like, okay. She's like, yeah, I would love for you to hold on to my card and hit me up. I said, okay. So I look at her card later and she's a model, actress, casting director. And I think she has her own like clothing line or something. And so it was like, she wears all these hats and it was like, she had a QR code on the back with her website and then all her Instagram handles. I know that there's other things you can do. Like on this phone right now, I have 2 phones. The phone that I'm live streaming from right now has a QR code on it of my stuff. So when I'm out, I just have people like go straight to the QR code. So there's many ways you can do it. And I just thought that was so dope because it's like she's going out, she's having a good time, she's being social, she's networking, but then she's going out with a purpose, right? She has her business card. So that way, like, let's just say she doesn't know who I am. She's just seeing me on there because I was doing some interviews on the red carpet for the charity that I work for. So when she saw me on the red carpet, she's like, oh, well, I want to know her. So boom, she was confident enough to walk up to me, boom, gave me her card. And now I have her card. And if I ever hear of anyone that, needs someone in a movie scene or whatever that has her look, now I know who she is, right? She wasn't just a pretty girl in the corner that was filling up the stands or filling up the seats. She was networking and building herself, building her brand, building her business, putting herself out there. So if you are a young person, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, you need to have business cards. You need to start to read books about networking. You need to start to listen to podcasts about networking. You need to listen to other older mentor people like me that just have experience living out here and have learned the hard way in some areas and have nailed it in other areas, which again, I'm going to end up doing like a whole series of this because I think it's needed. But yeah, you definitely need to make sure that you are being strategic and making sure to make it worth your while. Go out and have fun, but remember why you're here. Remember that you came to follow your dream. You came to build something, right? And so Like there's actually this one girl, she now has 1 million followers on Instagram. I met her maybe like 5 years ago. And um, I'm really like, I'm such a good friend to know because I'm just like such a judgeless person. I'm not saying everybody, I don't care what anyone says, everybody judges. And no judgment, but no, you're judging. But really, I'm like really a open-minded person, right? So I wouldn't have done this route, but like I respect the route that she took to get to where she's at now. Beautiful girl, came out here, had a normal job, and what she would do was she would just attach herself onto these projects. She would make sure to show up on her off days. She would make sure to show up after, you know, it was kind of like when Instagram was growing with the whole like doing like Instagram acting and like doing like little funny scenes or whatever. She would do that and show up. What she did was she ended up building up her own name and she created a bathing suit line. Now, some of her videos, of course, are really overly sexy and da-da-da. I don't care, girl, sis, live your beautiful, sexy life, turn up, right? But you know, let's be honest, when you're constantly walking around in a thong or doing yoga in a thong, it's gonna get a lot of followers. But she was smart because the way she was doing it was, yeah, there was a lot of like maybe followers that were just watching her for like her butt cheeks, but there was followers like women that were like, ooh, her body is amazing. I want to know what she does. Who is this girl? And oh, she's in a beautiful, in a cool bathing suit. I want that bathing suit. And she had her own bathing suit line. And then, so there's other things that this girl does, but bottom line is like, you got to be smart because you can really like make a lot of money very quickly if you're very smart and strategic and you're focused and disciplined. If you're just going out, like for example, so for me, let me just give you a quick story time. This is interesting. So the reason why I moved to LA from Fresno State, I got, well, number one, my family, my mom's side is from out here, and I was here when I was a child. So I've always just loved LA. We'd always visit back holiday season. I was like, I just want to move to LA. I don't care. I don't know if I'll be there for my whole life, but I just want to like move back and like see how it is as an adult. So I moved, boom, immediately got a job within a week. I started working at a company called Gilly Hicks. Okay. It was a lingerie, comfort wear, sportswear, you know, just like a very girly feminine brand. And so I started working for that company, ended up moving up in the corporate ladder, becoming a district manager. So I ended up living as a corporate person in my 20s, right? Like I did the corporate route. So for me, when I go, if I could talk to my younger self, that's why I'm talking to you. If I could talk to my younger self, I would say, it doesn't matter that you have a job and it's fine. I was like, oh, I have a job, it's fine. Like, I don't need to like network. Like, I get a paycheck every 2 weeks. Like, I have my structured job, so I'm fine. But what I should have been networking more, because what I could have done was get into other opportunities, go down a whole nother trajectory with like maybe doing videography, speaking, being an interviewer. I'm naturally good at like a lot of things, like with my voice and my personality and whatever. And so I just like, I was too limited in my thinking. I was like, oh, well, I have a corporate job. I don't really want to be an actress. Or like when I was younger, I actually used to want to be an actress. But whatever. I don't care to be as an adult. I think my calling is to just be of service to people, and like it's going to be through a lens. I think that's what it is. But I used to do whatever. We'll talk about me another time, but this video is for you. So because I had a corporate job, I didn't, when I was going out at 22, 23, 24, 25, I had a corporate job. I knew I was super disciplined. I knew I was going to get up in the morning and go to work and kill it. And I ended up getting promoted very, very quickly and getting high up in my position for my age. I wish I would have networked more. I wish I would have networked. I wish I would have had my own business cards just to say, hey, I'm a district manager. Also maybe created a website for myself because I loved health, wellness, yoga, fitness. I loved all those things still too, right? So I could have created like a little website for myself. This is kind of I'm saying my age with what I'm about to say, but it was before Instagram was even existed. And so I could have had like my own little website and just been like, you know what, this is just for me to like promote myself. Like, I don't know, you never know. Like, I'm in LA. All the people, I mean, the people that I met in high places, just being in some of the circles and some of the access that I had, um, just by living in LA. Like, you can literally go to the gym and run into Chris Brown. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, you can go to the gym and see Drake. Like, you can go to the gym, maybe not like now, but like then I could. Um, you know, because everybody was just living in LA trying to make it. And a lot of people you see on TV now that have these like big empires or like these big brands, 10 years ago, they were like just going to the gym in LA or just trying to make it in LA too, right? And so because I had a corporate job, I never really like thought of myself as like needing to network. And I wish I would have. So that's what I want to say to you. If you don't take anything away from me rambling on about my story, is that and my experience in LA and my just my advice that I have for you is that get yourself some business cards or get a digital business card, or make sure you have your QR code of your business up on your screen at all times. You never know who you're going to run into. You never know who you're going to meet. And that when you move to LA, make sure you stay grounded and you always have, like, even if you write out your goals and you just like touch base with those goals, like, or you have them on like the background of your phone of like, okay, my goal for the next 6 months is to book 2 gigs. It's to write my first song. It's to build my website and start my brand. And like, so you don't get like, you just always have that point of reference to keep you grounded. You know, make sure you collect mentors where you can. Stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and like my video and subscribe to the video, because I'm gonna, number one, I want to know what else you want to know about LA down in the comments, because I can answer a ton of them. And if I don't have the answer for some reason, I know a million people that will have the answer that I can gather information from and spit it back out to you. But you're gonna want to make sure, because this is the sad part. I've seen women move to LA, and again, no judgment, because how you get your bag is how you get your bag. Like, I'm here for your journey, and as long as you feel comfortable with your journey, I'm not God, right? Like, I have no room to judge a human. But I have seen women that come out here and have high hopes, high dreams, and have had to resort to doing things that they didn't, it's not really them, right? Like, they were like, I didn't really care to do this, but like, I'm just kind of doing it for 6 months just to get my money up, right? Like, working at a boob titty bar, or I don't know if I can say that on here, or working at a strip club or whatever. And no judgment, because when I tell you, some of the strippers I've seen it's literally, I feel like there should be a stripper Olympics. Maybe there is one. It's like the talent, like, that you have to literally pull your body up on that, like, it's crazy. But like, there's just some decisions that like some of these girls went down that decision just to be able to like have a job where they don't have to work 9 to 5. They can go to their, you know, auditions in the daytime, and then they like get their money on the side, like at night or whatever. Like working at like a boob bar, a titty bar, or whatever. And I'm not saying that that's like, again, no judgment, but like, because of that, what ends up happening is they are used to getting the money, the quick money, that like all of a sudden the auditions start to go down, the drive and passion for the audition start to go down, the drive for the starting the business starts to go down, because you like the money is so easy that they just like lose those years. 5, 6, 7 years goes by, and then like later on they're like trying to do the business when they could have just started it then. You get access to like a certain kind of lifestyle that maybe you weren't planning on getting access to, you know, men taking advantage of like vulnerable girls. It just gets deep. So that's what I want to tell you. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. There is some juice. There is some juice. Why are they like staring? I'm just talking on a camera. It's like not that big of a deal. But there is some juice and tea that I can tell you of this lifestyle in LA, and how you can literally soar off and execute on every dream that you didn't even know it wasn't even imaginable. Like, God could bless you, and you can have this like just achieve some of these things that you're like, I didn't even know that that was possible. Or you can really go down a very, very, very different path and get taken off very, very quickly your path, and it's too late to go back because you lost, like, and a lot of things, let's just be honest, not everything, not everything. You can make it at any moment in LA. I do want to say that I've seen people do it. But like if you're trying to do a certain type of industry like modeling, that type of modeling, like high level, high fashion, high, that has a very, very short, has an expiration date. The expiration date is very, very quick on that. So it comes up on you quick. So just, you know, make sure that you have the groundedness and all that. So again, there's millions of ways and topics that I can go on this. Now that I'm saying more, I'm like, dang, I could end up really being on here for like 3 hours. Like that's how long, and that's just barely touching the surface of like the information that I can give you while you're trying to move to LA. So if you're curious about LA, if you're wondering about LA, if you're trying to find remotivation to make it in LA, if you're debating about leaving because you met a bunch of weirdos in LA, I get it. It makes sense. Number one, in life, you're going to meet weirdos everywhere. But number two, you just learn how to, you tap into your intuition and you learn how to weed out those weirdos, and you don't have to entertain them. If somebody's fake, cut. If they did you dirty, they lied behind your back, cut. I mean, you know, it's not everybody is walking around like a snake out here. It's just not the case. There's no way that 10 million people, like I said, when we looked it up earlier, there's 10 million people that currently reside in Los Angeles, California right now. This city would be on fire if that was the case. So there's people working in corporate jobs. There's people taking their beautiful children to regular schools. There's people working at the 99-cent store. There's people working at Burger King. There's people that live in a regular apartment trying to go to a community college. Like there's all kinds of people here, just like there is in tiny towns. Like everything that's in a tiny town is out here too. Now and also, how do you think Hollywood is even being run? Like it's not being run by like a bunch of struggling actors and models. Like there's people that like own, like there's people that work at the Whole Foods in Hollywood, right? Like, or there's people that work at the Kinko's and they're in manager positions at the Kinko's in Hollywood, or the mall in the middle of Hollywood. There's people that are the district manager of a store. And so like the whole structure of a city is in Hollywood. So not everybody's a weirdo. Like the weirdo stuff starts to come when there's really desperate people really trying to make it, and they think that they have to act a certain way or be a certain way, and they really don't. Really, what I've learned, another thing too, is that a lot of people that make it really quickly is the ones that are brave enough to be as authentic as they can. And that's scary because you feel like you're supposed to be a certain way, but the girls and some of the men that I've seen that just make it, they're consistent, they're disciplined, and they're themselves. And if they don't get an opportunity because they were themselves, they don't care because they're that confident in themselves. It's like, okay, well, I missed this opportunity, another one will come my way. And just having that like high standard, that high, just having that high like self-esteem. Now they're getting booked for like major productions in the comedian world, and getting booked for movie roles. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen both. I've just seen so much in the last, oh my gosh, my entire adult life. Again, I've lived out here. I've lived in the scene, but I'm not like of the scene because I'm like, I was never like really trying to make it. So now as far as like actors and models and like going on auditions and stuff like that, I could collect information or send you to some people that you might want to listen to. But the thing is, because the people are trying to make it, they don't give the juice behind the scenes. So I could probably get it because I'm not trying to be an actress, so I could probably get it for you guys. But let me know if you guys are like, you guys know of any pages where they're dropping the behind the scenes tea while they're trying to make it. I don't know. I haven't really come across one, but let me know. I would definitely be curious to see, because a lot of people that are trying to make it out here, their perception online is as if they already made it, but they're really like living on couches, which is fine. Hey, do what you got to do. That's part of your journey, right? That's part of your story. It's part of your testimony. But some of these people that are perceivably making it online are like, they're not as financially well off. They're not, and it's fine. but I just don't see those people giving the tea behind the scenes. So, yeah, I just would say like on the, like just from my perspective and kind of like my bird's eye view of like the wisdom that I've had like over the years of like living out my young adult life and growing up in Los Angeles in my young adult life, I can give you the perspective on what I've seen when people make it and when people don't. Now, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're trying to be an actress, I can't help you out with that, but I can help you out with your health, your wellness, your stability, your mental where you should be at mentally, right? Where you should be at with your discipline, where you should be at with your mindset, where you should be at with how you respect yourself. I can help you out with that. But if you're trying, like, this is what you do when you go on an audition. Like, I've never been on an audition. Actually, I think I have a couple times, but like for fun stuff, like when I was in college. But anyways, there's going to be a lot more of these. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling this. Let me know if you want to. I think I'm going to create a series. And so let me know any question. Like, it doesn't matter how the dumbest question, smallest question. No, like all of it is going to be relevant. None of it's going to be dumb. And if you want to talk about why people think that people in LA are weirdos, we could talk about that. And I can dissect that down, slice it down for you very deeply. But yeah. Definitely make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Also, you guys see my arms coming in? I was kind of like looking at my arms. My arms are like coming in. I'm taking my protein powder from INNO SUPPS. So definitely tap the link in the description for INNO SUPPS. Make sure to use my code EMBODY for great fitness supplements. All right. And catch me on the next one. Bye.